Hey, welcome back, Let's Players. It's time for the 19th episode of Let's Play Fire Emblem. I worked on it, I checked all the mics, I checked if it's recording properly and everything, so this time, I should not be really mad at it. But, also, I was doing a run of this before, and, it started to lag in about 4 minutes, so I'll have to keep my eye on that. Just, you know, I deleted, well, not deleted the video, but I mean, I not even re-edited, I sort of just took it off my playlist and then imported it again to see if that would work. I'm not sure if it will, so yeah, just be on your guard. For 4 minutes it'll go back horribly, and I mean, like, it was easily 30 seconds behind again. So we'll be hearing in the future. Okay, that's a little bit of an open-end joke. Anyway, so now I'm sieging Castle Caelin, which is Lynn's castle, as you all know. It's, for some reason, I go into an army of 11, 2 of which are healers for me, 2 of which stay back. So essentially, I'm going in there with an army of 7, 1 of which is also an archer. The other's a mage, so those I have to keep an eye out. Anyways, whatever you do not take Florina in this map. She will die a horrible and painful death. Because if you look at the map, it is filled with archers, and it is filled with knights. 2 things which any good Pegasus knight is scared shitless of. Because they cannot deal damage to knights, and in return get beaten over the head with a giant stick. And archers, well, bows plus wings never mix well. Okay, so I'm taking my 3 lords, which is always a good idea. I'm taking Merlinus, so he levels up. And I'm taking Marcus, Oswin, Lowen, no, not Lowen, Sain, Matthew because there's Chestnuts here, Sarah because I want her support with Matthew, Priscilla because I need a healer and I don't like to use Sarah that much, and Rebecca just to try. So yeah, I also take my 3 lords because they each have their own unique way of dealing with armored units. Elwood has the rapier, and also an uncanny strength. I mean, he's supposed to be balanced, but for some reason I find my strength is always really decent with him. It's strong enough to deal with knights effectively. That, and because he has a better constitution than Lynn, you can give him the Armor Slayers without having, like, a really bad thing happen to him. And Lynn, of course, has her beloved Mani Kelly, which does triple damage against armored units. Okay, so, in this level, I was gonna talk about something else, oh yeah, it's something that appears a little, I think after this turn. What was I talking about before then in the last one, though? I know I had something to talk about right up until then. It was something, oh yeah, I'm not gonna splurge with my lords. Like, you notice, normally when I play, my lords are like level 20 before most of my other guys are level 10. Which I know is kind of a bad thing, but my lords are always, like, lords are never weak. It's always a good idea to use your lords, because for starters, they're in there every round. And, you know, they're friggin' amazing. They have, like, the best growth in the game sometimes. Anyway, so I'll finish the lords, why I'm not using my lords in a second. He's our first recruitable character, and unless you count Dorcas, which I don't like to, not because he's Dorcas, but because he wasn't really an enemy. He's the second enemy you can recruit. The first one being Guy. There might be another one that I just missed, but I'm pretty sure he's the second. And he's a lot easier to recruit. It's just the unit you have to recruit him with is weak. And by weak, I mean Priscilla. So it's always a good idea to lure him, especially with Hector, because Hector won't get any damage from him at all, and then talk to him with Priscilla. And then you use him to recruit Lucius. Ah shit, here's the lag. Yeah, here's the lag, which is annoying. But anyways, you use Raven to recruit Lucius, sorry for the lag. And only Raven. Lynn can't recruit him. Lynn can have a conversation with him, but it won't recruit him. Oh my god, you just heard a level up go into the future. That's freaking amazing. Anyway, so yeah, it's because Lucius is spending time with Raven, trying to, it's a backstory, you learn to fight new supports with Raven and Lucius. Let's just hope the lag doesn't get any worse. You're already spoiling so many surprises just by listening to this. Anyway, so, what was I gonna... Right, why I'm not really using my lords. Well, because if... There's a selection of 2 units. I'm getting a little off track here again. There's a selection of 2 units, Wallace and Geitz. Geitz, he's a warrior, he's level 5, and he's really good. And Wallace, I hope you guys all remember from Lynn's campaign. The headstrong, powerful, you know, gigantic knight general. And, of course, the smart thing to do would be to get the better character, also because that means your lords are better characters, and your lords are not always the best characters in the game. But that's not how I'm going to roll for this one, because I want to show you how to get all the characters. So, I'm going to get Wallace instead of Geitz, and as much as I've been raving about Caelin and how awesome he is, in this level, in this run of the game, I'm going to get Harkin, who is the still extremely powerful but much less sought after character you can get in that same level. It depends on the story mode you're in. If you're in Elwood story mode, and you want to recruit Carol, you have to kill 3 promoted units before, like, a certain amount of turns, and then Carol shows up as a neutral player who beats the crap out of people, like the living shit out of people, and if you talk to him with Lynn or Elwood, then he joins you. Lynn because he doesn't want to see such a great sword fighter die. And I'm not sure if Elwood can recruit him or not, but I know Lynn can, because I've recruited Lynn. And Harkin, if you don't kill 3 promoted units in Elwood mode, then Harkin shows up as an enemy unit and attacks you, and you recruit him with... I know you recruit him with Elwood, but most likely you can get him with Marcus and Lowen. I'm not sure about that though, so I don't want to risk it if they're not powerful enough. Oh yeah, and in Hector's mode, it's the same type of thing, except instead of killing promoted units, it's opening doors. So it's like if you open 4 doors before turn 6 or something, then Carol shows up. If you don't, then Harkin shows up. Which obviously means that Carol's the better character because there's actually a goal to achieve to get him. Albeit it's not a hard goal, you have to kill like a couple of shamans or, you know, bring up those door keys that you never end up using. Just to get him, but I mean, it means that he's obviously more powerful. Anyway, so we're still hearing into the future, but at least it hasn't been another lag, which is always nice. But that's, if you notice I stopped using my lords when they're at about level 15, that's why. Just so that I don't go over that limit before I get kills. That way I'll also have like 5 levels of leeway room in case they get attacked and I don't notice it. Okay, so this is one of the nice things about using Sain. He might not have good resistance, but if he gets the first shot against a mage, that mage is dead. He's a very likely candidate for the most powerful spear in the game, the Rex Hasta, which I'm pretty sure means King Lance, the Royal Lance. And because it needs such a massive, you know, constitution. So I always give it to Oswin, but if for some reason you don't like Oswin, Sain is also a very nice candidate for it. But I mean, come on, give it to Oswin. He's a gem. The other, like, insanely awesome legendary weapons... I'm really getting ahead of myself, but I don't have much to talk to about this one for now. Yeah, the other insanely awesome legendary weapons are the Basilicos. I'm not talking about actual legendary weapons. I'm talking about the mini final bosses you meet before the second final boss before the final boss. It's kind of confusing, but like they're these like summoned morphs of people you've killed already, and they start with weapons that are built specifically to rival the legendary weapons of old shit. So there's the Basilicos. which is like it's the most powerful axe in the game. There's the Rex Hasta, the most powerful lance in the game. There's the Royal Blade, the most powerful blade in the game. The Rien Flèche. Yes, I said that with a French accent. But for some reason it's the no arrow. Anyways, the Rien Flèche, which is the most powerful bow in the game. I'm not sure. I think it gives you consecutive hits, but I'm not sure about that. Because I tend to not use it, I don't train my bow guys enough. And there's the loose tome. And when I say loose, I mean L-U-C-E, which is like an extremely powerful light tome. It does 1 more damage than the legendary tome. It's just the legendary tome has the bonus of doing triple damage against the final boss. There's the Excalibur tome, which is sort of like quasi-legendary anima tome. Okay, I suppose you're wondering why I am doing something so stupid as to leave my 2 strongest characters, besides the Lords, Marcus and Oswin, behind, guarding lonely old Merlinus. You shall see in a second. Right now, though, I have to pay attention to these guards. The guards are very, very special. Those guys. In another turn or so, they'll decide to leave their little hidey hole of protection and go fight for reasons beyond my control. And I think they're really stupid for doing so, because in there, they're protected, and there's an army coming to save them, so they're going to fight it and die. Now, if none of those soldiers survive by the end, because if you can keep them alive by, say, rescuing them with Hector and Priscilla and Oswin and Marcus and all your cavalry guys. If one of those soldiers survives, you get a light boon. First off, okay, yeah, if none of them survive, then you don't get anything. If one survives, then you... Oh, hey! I just forgot to mention, I got the you found an item. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Anyways, yeah, if one of them survives, you get the light boon, which, if placed, nothing can walk over it. Your units and enemy units included. So, it's good to place in like a narrow hall, just to block it off if you really need it, but I never tend to do. Okay, yeah, now I'm just planning out my route to fight Raven with. So you'll notice I put Priscilla in the direct path of an archer, which I never do, but it's just so I can get Raven before I kill him. Anyways, yeah, I'm getting off track again. Second, if 2 soldiers survive, it doesn't matter which soldiers, just one can survive, then, you get a mine, which is extremely effective, and it will be, it's like, one of the most powerful items in the game if you want a mine glitch. But, we don't want another mine glitch. Okay, I'm gonna save before I explain what happens when we get the third, I'm just gonna run Matthew away so I can save that lockpick. Because lockpicks are much more valuable than chest keys. Anyway, so yeah, if you save the 3rd soldier, then you get a red gem worth a nice 2,500 gold. That's the thing I tend to get, but if you didn't heed my advice for the past, like, 18 episodes, actually more like 36, considering most of them have a part 2, if you didn't heed my advice for those episodes, when I say don't use the mine until the right time, don't use the mine until the right time, there I said it again, then you should grab this mine and save it this time, because it will come in extreme handy in not only... Okay, here's where the soldiers come out, like dumbasses. But anyways, it will not only be extremely handy in fighting a certain boss, you can use it on Nurgle, but that just ruins the fun of fighting the final boss, so there's no point. But there is one boss who becomes one of your characters later and rides on a dragon. So Vida. This is just saying the magic thing, so I decided to stop. You already knew the magic. So yeah, there's Viada. She gives you a nice little weapon, which is commonly referred to among fans as the Uber Spear. Why the Uber Spear? Because it's amazing, that's why. It's only just a spear, but not just a spear. Because when a unit is equipped with said Uber Spear, that unit receives a tidy 15 bonus health, 5 bonus to every other stat, and yeah, 5 bonus to every other stat. So, don't use it as your main equipped weapon, so you don't use it, but it is always a nice thing to have while fighting a boss, and it's even more handy when you get, say, the hammer and staff, and can repair it. Like, in fact, the two weapons that should be repaired are the Mani Caddy and the hammer and staff. Not the hammer and staff, the Uber Spears you get, because those weapons are probably the most valuable for those units you could possibly get. Oh, here's Raven. And then the soldiers decide to leave. Elwood runs away and, you know, licks his wounds, figuratively speaking. And you talk. Oh, crap, I think I missed my deadline. That Gamer Mexican, signing out. I'll just put a little picture here to make fun of it.